Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is boy Sam from Untitled Trading here, and today we'll be looking at CTRM, and I'm going to be giving you an update on what I think is going on with this stock and where I think it's going to go in the future. If you haven't already, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. It really helps the channel out, and be sure to join my new Discord server, which I've just released today. So feel free to go in here, see what moves I'm going to be making, and you all can just have a bit of a discussion, a bit of a forum, and we can have a bit of a chat, ask any questions you like. And yeah, it's just going to be a place to socialize and also talk about your upcoming trades. So with that being said, let's get on with the video. Before we get into today's video, I just want to say that I'm in no way, shape or form a financial advisor, and please say anything I say with a pinch of salt. I'm simply a university student studying business and management, and that is all. Stocks are battlefields. Be sure to do your own research before entering into the battlefield, and always devise your own strategies and only put in money which you can afford to lose. So for anyone who's new to this channel, I always like doing a company profile so you all can get an understanding of what the company is about. I then go into a graphical analysis and then a financial analysis, and then we talk about price predictions, potential price entry points, and we will also look at recent news and short interest. So with that being said, let's get on with it. So Castor Maritime Incorporated, through its subsidiaries, engages in ocean transportation of dry bulk cargoes worldwide. It provides seaborne transportation services for dry bulk cargo, including iron ore, coal, grains, steel products, fertilizers, cement, bauxite, sugar, and scrap metal. The company operates 3 Panamax vessels with a carrying capacity of approximately 76,000 deadweight ton. Castor Maritime was founded in 2016 and is based in Limassol, Cyprus. Now, this figure here, where it says 3 Panamax vessels, has actually increased. They recently bought another 2 vessels on top of this. So they are constantly increasing their company portfolio and increasing their assets, but we will get onto that further on in the video. So with Castor Maritime, we actually own 93.99% of the company. That is what the other stands for. And currently 4.32% of the company is held by hedge funders. Now, I'm okay with this because the fact that hedge funders have actually come into this stock means that they see value within this company. And when big corporations normally invest in a company, that is a good sign because it shows that they see worth in the company, because they are not going to put their money into a company unless they're going to make money out of it. So in my opinion, that is not a bad sign that hedge funders are in this. I know hedge funders have screwed us over in the past with GME, AMC, etc. But you know, I'm okay with this, and it's only a small percentage as well, and we do have quite a large influence over that price. Okay, so moving into the graphical analysis of CTRM. Now, this is a very, very interesting graph. So as you can see, it has gone down a fair bit, and it's sort of gone gradually down. It hasn't been too like drastic. It hasn't been like a short ladder attack, for example. It hasn't gone like down. However, we are currently seeing a sort of bearish flag formation. However, bearish flag formations are a sign of good things to come, because what happens is it gets to a level of, it breaches the level of support. And what would happen is once it breaches the level of support, it will create a new stop output above that. And it will create a new level of support probably around this line here, around the 1.6 mark. Now, I don't know when that could happen, but it's looking likely. And to be perfectly honest with you, this earnings report could be a catalyst for that. And if their earnings report is a lot higher, which I'm expecting it to be, especially with all of their new assets, then I think that this company could be in a very strong position to really increase. Now, what I've tried to draw here is I tried to show the level of support with one and two touch points. Now, these touch points were drawn over a 3-day span, and although there's only 2 touch points, which isn't ideal, there has been signs of it staying at that, and it hasn't dropped below that level of support anytime soon. So, you know, I'm interested to see what happens today in trading, and if it does drop below, then okay, I was wrong. However, if I'm right about where this bearish flag could go, what I'm expecting to happen is there to be a stop loss sort of around this, probably a 0.2 or 0.92 mark, sorry. And I expect it to go back up to around the 1.426 mark. Now, I'm not sure what you all think of this. If you have any ideas of where you think CTRM is going to go in the future, then please leave it in the comments down below. But this is just a quick graphical analysis, and looking at the volume in this stock has been actually quite good over the past like 4 or 5 days or so. Like, we saw a big amount of volume come in on the 23rd, and it's sort of just been taken over. But I think we have seen more green than we have red, which is always a positive sign when investing in a stock. Now, granted, yesterday was an amazing day for this stock. However, as you can see, it wasn't a good day for any stock. The market has been bleeding all day. It's not been a good time for the stock market. So you have to bear in mind, right? When the stock market is bleeding, that means that stocks are on discount. It's literally like a fire sale. That's how I see it, at least. So load up whilst you can, whilst they're low, and, you know, reach the new heights. Now, in the pre-market, we're actually down to 0.94. And I'm not worried about this, because I think the CTRM right now is actually really undervalued. And I'm going to go into that in the financial report. Now, I want to touch upon their assets and liabilities, because I think this is very important. Now, although they have acquired more debt, they have increased their assets significantly this quarter, or the most recent quarter. Now, what I think from this is that the liabilities hasn't increased by that much, and their assets have increased by a very significant amount, which is going to consequently improve the value of CTRM. And to add on to that, their current ratio is actually up from their previous quarter, which is essentially their ability to pay back debt. So them having more liabilities, I don't see as a bad thing. I genuinely think they've done well with the money which they have received from these debts, and I think they have put it to good use, because their company assets have increased significantly, which is a very good sign in the company. When you see significant growth in the company, that is a very, very positive sign of it improving and for the stock price to keep going up. And that is also backed up in their earnings per share, although it hasn't really moved. I mean, it hasn't gone down either, and it's literally at a standstill of 0. So that is not a bad sign, because it is still seen an improvement from their Q1 to the Q2, and then it's just sort of stayed the same at Q3. So if I had to predict this, I reckon this year's earnings, which is going to be the 3rd of March, I believe, I think this is going to go up. And I genuinely think that CTRM's value is going to shoot up. Not by a massive amount, but I think it will go up. Potentially to that 0.63 mark, actually, potentially, looking at the graph. But hey, that's just my prediction. And again, I'm not a financial advisor, so, you know, do your own due diligence before entering into these stocks. And I also wanted to have a quick look at their financial composition. Let's have a quick look. So their financial statements, their cash flow. Let's go to quarterly cash flow. So their current financing cash flow, it has gone down, but only by 2.31 million, which in my opinion, again, isn't bad considering all of the assets which they have acquired. And personally, I think the company is actually in a stronger position, and I think that they have grown a lot. And I think we have seen a good amount of sustainable growth in the company. And the fact that they have more assets, they have more sort of ships to be able to ship their cargo to and from places, I think this company is only going to go up from here, actually. And the fact that they have more ships is going to mean that they're going to have more revenue streams. And more revenue streams equals more profit. And more profit, although it has more costs, will essentially increase the value of their stock. And that is truly what I believe with CTRM. And personally, I think we're going to have to wait until their earnings reports are released to really make a calculated judgment on this stock. So the most recent up-to-date information on Fintel about the short interest within CTRM is currently sat at 26%, and this is the short volume ratio. Now the short volume compared to the market volume, so it's 95, so there's 95 million market shares, and the short volume has been 24 million, which to me is actually a very significant number. And the fact that anything above normally 10% is considered a lot within shorting, this company could potentially be the next AMC, in my opinion, actually. And although it's not going to be as high as AMC in terms of the short interest, I think that with all the data that's been presented, I think that we could see a massive spike, and I'm not sure whether this could potentially happen, but in my opinion, I think that 26% is a high amount of short volume, and personally, this could be susceptible to a squeeze. However, you have to take into account that right now they have 10 million shorts available to them, and this was literally updated this morning. And also, their short borrow fee rate is actually quite high at 18.89%. So they will have to pay back those shorts eventually, which will be quite a defining factor actually with whether the squeeze happens. And if we look at their graph for the short volume ratio, so today it has gone up by 2%, so yesterday it went up from 2% from the day before, which is Thursday. So it has been increasing over the last 3 days. However, it was at 30% at one point, and actually at 36% at its highest over the past 2 weeks or so. So we are actually seeing quite a lot of short volume interest in this stock, which is very interesting. And we could very potentially, I'm not sure it will happen personally, but I want it to happen for it to be a squeeze because we all make money in squeezes. So that's all I'm saying. So yeah, take that as you will. And remember, take it as a pinch of salt. I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own research before entering into these stocks. Now, I thought this would be a good article to cover because this was made by Market Watch as a press release about Castor Maritime, and this was published literally yesterday. So I thought we would have a read of this, and I thought I'd just skip to the summary where it basically just says the final verdict of what the thing is, and I'll just read it out to you. So, Castor Maritime has done everything in its power during the COVID-19 pandemic to grow its shipping fleet and expand operations. And you know what? It's working well. I agree. Especially after Biden just approved the supply of rare earth metals used to make important products positively affecting the dry bulk market. The earnings report is expected on March the 8th, 2020. We're expecting a huge positive jump, which could cause a short squeeze since the overall short is about 1,400%. Don't know where they got that figure from. I'm not sure. So this was, the earnings report is expected in, do you reckon this, I think it's March the 8th, 2021, if I'm not mistaken. Let's do a quick fact check on that because I don't want to be putting out false data. So we do Castor Maritime. Maybe that was just a typo. Castor Maritime earnings. So earnings release. Now they normally put a press release out. However, Castor Maritime is estimated to report their earnings on the 3rd of March 2021. So I'm not sure if this could have just been old data. However, if this is the Biden administration, this is recent. So I'm not really sure what to believe with that, but we'll run with it. We'll keep it going. So revenues are up year over year and have been growing at an average rate of 41% per year over the last 5 years. Earnings per share grew 210% year over year and are trending upwards with the growth in vessel count and high margins they boast. Castor is on pace to smash their fiscal year 4 or Q4 earnings report and have a strong balance sheet after purchasing 6 new vessels this year, which is what I was going to touch upon. Now, you know, in the company profile where it said only 3, they'd actually purchased more vessels, and which is going to increase their revenue stream. So there's going to be a much higher amount of profit that they're going to be making in this company. So with that being said, combined with the fact that the global bulk dry goods shipping industry is expected to have its best year in nearly a decade, and it is easy to see why investors are excited about Castor's future. The stock has already surged by over 500% in 2021 and has a lot of room to grow still. Castor has also regained Nasdaq compliance, which means that institutional investors will continue to add the stock to its funds and portfolios, driving up demand as the supply of shares dwindles. Finally, check out that short interest percentage. If there are any more bullish catalysts, like a good earnings, etc., or lower COVID numbers, or reopenings of economies, or whatever that is, continue to be aggressive in buying vessels, the stock could surge, causing a short squeeze. It's only a matter of time. Shorters should be careful. This company has high potential with other maritime shipping companies, such as EGLE, SBLK, NMMM, and SB. So that is what this article is saying, and I agree with a lot of that. The only thing which I'm a bit confused about from this article is this, and I don't want to be putting out any fake data out there because I'm not too sure about this, but in my opinion, this is not true. But I know their short interest is enough for a squeeze, but it's definitely not that high. So I'm just going to put that out there. So, you know, all of these factors taken into account, Castor Maritime is looking like a very, very good buy. That's going to be it for today. I hope you have all enjoyed this video. If you have, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. It really helps the channel out, and I can't thank you all enough for giving us a voice on this platform and the amount of support you have all been showing. This has been your boy Sam from Untitled Chapter. I'll see you in the next video on the channel. In a bit, everyone.